I'm Eliza, a medical intuitive and a wealth activator, and this is another episode of Inside Healing. 10 to 15 minutes of insight and healing. Subscribe so you never miss a moment, and maybe share with someone that could really use healing and also these messages that I bring from channeling my life and just from years and years of being on this journey. Around 2007 or so. I really love today's episode. So I don't know if you know, probably don't know, but I actually lived 6.5 years in Japan when I was younger. So I guess in another life. And today is something I knew about for a long time, this theme, and it's called Kitsugi. And it literally translates to joining and repairing with gold in Japanese. And right now, this whole time, I'm imbuing the precious metal gold frequency on you in just an open quantum fashion, just to heal, to revitalize, and just let you know that you are so, 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 so precious. So they have, let me just talk. They have this thing that I've always heard about where anything that's broken, you like a dish or a cup, they don't throw it out. It's not damaged, it doesn't need to be fixed. It's not like, it's not broken. Well, it's a part. So what they do is they use this, They use this gluing material with gold and other metals to fix it. And so when you see the cup, once it's all put back together, where the cracks were is gold. Where your wound is gold. And what I also wanted to bring here, because it reminded me of the Rumi, one of the Rumi poems, if you don't know Rumi. And this is the quote from Rumi: "The wound is where the light enters you." And I'm being somebody who used to hide as well and thought I was broken and needed to be fixed and that nobody would ever love me. I know that this is a real plight, and a lot of it is from not being. It's not okay in our culture to let our pain and our wounds be seen. So we hide it, we stuff it. And guess what happens when we internalize it? We feel shame. And shame is when we feel like we are a bad person. Okay. So in the ceramic, they use adhesive, that's it, mixed with gold dust and other precious metals, and they call it the golden scars. So just like, do you guys know what some scar is? So some scars are a real word. It's emotional scars that we deepen with repetition. So it becomes like an emotional pattern, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so that is actually not a beautiful scar. But when we start to mend it, when we start to notice it, when we start to acknowledge its beauty, because there's beauty in pain, guys, and this is what's never talked about, right? So we're still imbuing the gold, the frequency for you. So we're highlighting in this art form of Kitsugi, they're highlighting the cracks and making the object even more beautiful and even more valuable. And this is what I want to talk about. You know, this is my quote. You can keep it. You can take it. I say, ditch the suffering, keep the wisdom. You become more wise, more wealth in human understanding. And that is how you become more valuable and more beautiful. So when we start the healing path, you don't need to go back to the traumatic times, but you do need to kind of face those emotions and the kind of the things that are keeping you angry and hiding, belief systems. So when we tend to the wounds, when we start to face our traumas and start to face our wounds, you don't need to go back to any time. Just kind of start to notice the emotions and beliefs that you're carrying. That is the gold that they're putting into the cups. That is how they're mending it. You're beautifying yourself. You are allowing the light to enter. Because when you keep making those patterns, those emotional, self-sabotaging, some scars, deeper and deeper, it's darker and darker. When you start to face it, when you start to etch it with gold, like I'm doing right now, I'm imbuing you with gold, and in Kitsugi, they fix the cups and dishes They put the pieces back together again. But you are together. You're never broken. But what it means is you become more whole. More whole is when you start to accept all parts of you, both the darkness and the light. And that's what Kitsugi also represents for me. Suffering and pain connects us with our inner selves when we choose to face it. And it's actually a big source of enlightenment. As I said to you before, we're just more understanding. We have greater wisdom of the complexities and also the fragility of the human experience. And yeah, and that's my saying, ditch the suffering, keep the wisdom. Scars, wounds make us who we are. They also make us, it's like resilient. When we move through the trenches of healing our traumas and fixing it with gold, which I'm still imbuing on you, but let me just change the intention though. I'm going to ask you to bring you guys courage and wisdom. Beautiful. Human resilience. When we can face the pain, the loss, trauma that can leave us emotionally wounded. But like Kitsugi, we can choose to repair those wounds, transform, transmute, alchemize. It never leaves. That's what I'm trying to say. And, the crack is there under the gold. Does that make sense? Even when the kintsugi, the crack is the wound is still there under the gold. It doesn't leave. We alchemize it, we transmute it to wisdom, to courage, to greater, deeper understanding, to a way to be of service. So it becomes something more beautiful, more valuable. So how do we accept all these imperfections? Because, I used to always say, we're all perfectly imperfect. I'm going to do another episode on that as well. There's so many ideas and so little time. I've got time. Okay. And as long as we hide, as long as we deny, we can't transmute, we can't transform. And you know that our scars, our traumas do not define us. It is not who we are. It is something that happened to us. And nobody did anything to us. And that's a hard one for us to understand, especially as victims or survivors. Nobody did anything to us. People did things that they, out of their own pain, it wasn't against you, it was really against themselves. But we were, you were in that path. So Kintsugi, the lessons from Kintsugi is embrace all your imperfections. Find beauty in the emotional scars. Become more resilient, grateful, and loving to yourself. What? And then appreciation. So I want to actually run, you guys get a special. I want to run self-acceptance, sacred activation. And I also want to run courage to heal. And everybody can use it, even if you've had the most perfect family, even if you've had no trauma, just the courage to really allow any wound to shine and let it shine bright as wisdom, as depth, as, I don't know, more clarity. So the gold is still imbuing on you, and let's begin. Kitsugi. I've always been drawn to Japan, and I've known about this art yeah. Let's take a few expensive breaths. Let every exhale bring you deeper into your body. And then let the next exhale bring you down, down, down through all the layers of Mother Earth until you get to the heart of Mother Earth. Once you get there, just bask in the divine feminine being held and just kept so safe. And from that place, give yourself full permission to receive. I'm still imbuing the gold. I'm gonna run it to bring you contentment. I'm gonna start self-acceptance sacred activation now. Accept to receive. I'm gonna bring in courage to heal. You are strong enough. You are resilient enough. And any ways that you feel like, oh my God, I can't, it is within you to do it. It is within you. Yes. No matter how painful, how much fear, it is within you. And may this episode um just help you along the way. This energy is gonna keep running for a few more hours, but just make your way down to the heart of Mother Earth. Just basic in the grounding, integrating, and healing energies of the divine feminine. Make your way up to your heart center. Just take a few breaths, expanding in your whole chest cavity. And repeat after me. I am fully back into my body, fully grounded, and in full appreciation of my whole being. And fully back into my body, fully grounded, and in full appreciation of my whole being. And fully back into my body, fully grounded, and in full appreciation of my whole being. Take another deep, expansive breath. And when you are ready, you may open up your eyes. I want to finish off with a Rumi quote. The wound is where the light enters you. So when we trust and we know that we have that courage to face that, then we turn all our wounds, all the cracks, all the dark stuff into gold and shine bright. All right, as always, much gratitude for your presence. Leave a comment how this was, and maybe share this with someone because I don't know, there's something special about this ancient, like hundreds of years. I believe this is like around 500. The Kitsugi is around 500 something years old, maybe even more. Um, so you know they were onto something, and it's beautiful. As a you are beautiful. So how do we turn those wounds into gold? and then make ourselves beautiful, not in an aesthetic way, in the deeper essence of beautiful that you are.